Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, great. Oh. Thank you for coming to my presentation. I hope you like it. I'm going to start by telling you the title. The kids in the study came up with this title, I Am Everywhere. The AJ Boys and Girls Club, that's Apache Junction in Arizona. The community, they reinterpreted the Wizard of Oz. And I've been working with the Wizard for many years. I am Dr. Mary Stokrocki in real life. I am Professor Emeritus. That means I just retired from Arizona State University. But I'm not totally retired yet. And this is the eye guy in this slide. I'll tell you about him in a minute. Okay. The problem with teaching young kids, talk about art, because I teach art and aesthetics, can be very dreary. Researcher Batten argues that talk about art, again, is boring, especially for kids. Yet it can consist of some classic text and dialogue where they can develop critical thinking skills in a playful way based on Peter London's Art as Transformation and Imaginable Play. In my phenomenological qualitative research, Van Mannheim calls for serendipitous insights and karyos, which means enigmatic playfulness, as opposed to serious work. And there's the two references at the bottom. Now, for motivation of several of my studies, I've been using The Wizard of Oz. And the author is Baum, Frank Baum. 1900s when he wrote this book. And I reinterpret it as a play. And we live in Arizona, so we call it The Lizard of ARS. Frank Baum said, I am everywhere, but to the common person, I am unknown. Now, the Lizard of ARS means art in Latin. And of course, I live in the desert. There's plenty of lizards here. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, is he coming? Uh-oh. Oh, it's slow. Oh, it's not coming in as clear as it should. Oh, okay. Be patient. And there's the wonderful book cover of the famous Wizard of Oz. Now, to make research less boring, I do many things like treating it as a story, trying to offer a script for the kids, because sometimes they don't even know what you're talking about. I'll tell you about the kids in a minute. Now, I've done several research studies based on The Wizard of Oz. My first study was with high school students in Fountain Hills, Arizona. The students drew masks to recite their parts of the class Lizard of ARS play. And here's one of the examples. Bunny. Bunny announced, "I am cute, and I'm quiet like the cat sometimes." The animals figures share human eyes in that drawing. So we didn't do this on Second Life. We just did this in the classroom in real life. The class was very playful, almost silly at times. On the other hand, they were rebelling and taking risks. Okay, and the student who did this was one of my teachers later on. She became a student in real life. My second study with university students, avatars on Second Life, of course, they reinterpret The Lizard of ARS. And there's the reference of where you can find it. And the characters you see here in this slide, oh, they've made them up. The little one over in the corner on the right is a creepy crow, and the lizard is in green, of course, and they have their own scarecrow. Now, some of you have seen this installation on Second Life. My third study with university students, they reinterpret The Wizard of Oz too. One reviewer who saw this study and this installation said, "Mary, you describe a highly interactive class activity, which is both fun and very memorable for students. I am sure they will remember the concepts much longer and with a more kinesthetic sense than if they were merely read or listened to the explanations. This is good pedagogy." And this was written in Taiwan when I was in Fulbright. And some of this installation is up on Inspiration Island now. We moved it. Okay. My fourth study was with volunteer middle school kids at my local contract school, which is around the corner from where I live. And they made their own masks. They drew them in real life, and I uploaded them on the Opensim, which is another virtual world. Now, first time they ever did it with me, and they're young kids. I worked with them for 4 years, and now the contract school is gone, darn it. And the kids called their play The Ludicrous Lizard of ARS, as you can see. Now, I didn't even know the word ludicrous. One of the students taught me that. So you learn with students all the time. Now, this particular study was in 2019, and I invited children from my local Boys and Girls Club out here in Superstition Mountains area of Arizona to reinterpret The Lizard of ARS with me. 3 girls and 5 boys volunteered, and these kids are even younger 8 to 11 years old. They worked with me for 4 Mondays from 1 to 3, about 2 hours in June 2019. Now the lesson was simple, and I wanted them to design a playful parody with me. I had them complete a pre-questionnaire. For example, what is art? What does parody mean? Who was your favorite character in The Wizard of Oz? Why? Then I wanted them to read publicly a sample play as a group and examine and list the list of art definitions and parody them. The word parody is a distortion, a pun, an imitation, a satire, a spoof of something, and it has double meanings of some human problem. I wanted them to discuss and choose a desert character like a coyote to resemble the cowardly lion in The Wizard of Oz. And then we discussed desert predator and prey relationships in science. That was a nice lesson also. Then I wanted them to create and interpret one character from The Wizard of Oz and color it, make a 2-dimensional mask in heavy crayon on 5x7 note cards. I asked them to use contrasting colors, values, and exaggerate the facial expression, the eyebrows and the mouth, to show emotion. I was working with them in real life doing that. I wanted them to outline parts in black to show up in photographs, and then to give their character a punny name. They like that, punny or funny. A pun is a funny, clever rename. And I asked them who they were parodying. They had their choice. And finally, I asked them to write 3 to 5 character lines, a script, including the idea of alliteration. Now that was a lot of fun for them. Repeating crazy noises, like the first letter of their name. I put the art definition from a hat and include it in your part in a punny way. And then I gave them all a model. That's the secret. They need models. Well, whenever I go into the classroom, I dress up as the Lizard of ARS, as you can see. Now, I got this outfit in China, by the way, and I downloaded my mask that you saw a minute ago, the lizard head, and I wear it on my head, and the kids love it. So I go into classrooms and I ask the students to read the script model rewritten by the students from the previous study. And when I spy 20 copies of the Wizard of Oz book in the book. Now, would you believe only half of the students that I worked with at the Boys and Girls Club never read the book? So that was a problem. Again, even though it was there. Okay. They drew and colored with crayons their character again on the 5x7 note cards and outlined them so they would show up. Now you would think they would show up, but they don't show up that well. I have to tell them to use black crayon. But I couldn't always read their lettering or understand their spelling, so please be patient because these are kids talking. Now, this is the eye guy, boy one, and he says to his classmates, I lost my tail, T-A-L-E, right? And I need a new one. And this is always a nice invitation for them. Okay, here are some of the findings. Even though I visited the club 2 weeks in advance, and I checked on the internet connection to Firestorm 32, it worked then, it failed at other times. I'm trying to get kids to sit still, let alone talk, can be difficult, especially at community centers, and there was quite a few kids there. I offer some creative and fun ways of getting them to consider the context and the motivation about art, especially in the desert. They don't think art is in the desert. I worked with them individually using my own computer. I had some of them build a box form with me to mount their head there. Later, I met them to share results using my computer. The place was very noisy and crowded. Now, this is the way it is now during COVID times. So it's not perfect in the schools even. I also introduced one of my former high school students who worked with me on one of the earlier studies to share his ideas. Results were very playful in a simple way. Now, this little character over here on the right is cute. She says, art is good taste. I eat animals near me. And her name is Samantha Beautiful Bunny. They're making fun of the characters. And here's some other characters. Wicked, evil, creepy, and even slithery characters dominate. Remember, this is the desert. We have boy 5 here. He was a slithery snake. And he says, I will stop you and you will die. And we have these other 2 characters. You'll hear about them in a minute. And here's some of the characters. They enjoy playing with the language and adding goofy sayings. So this is the Wicked Bunny, and he says, art is cool. I want to chomp on you. They want to eat you. Again, remember, this is the desert. And here's some other ones. These are repeated, but you can see what fun they had. The second one, Royal Coyote, he says, I can see art everywhere as expression. Now, some of them they just took right from the script, but others that were very imaginative. The Cyberco, he cries with crazy words. Ars is a mating. Ars in Latin means art. And you see some of the other ones are just repetitive. Oh, there's even an evil bunny. You will never get me because art perfects me. With the misspelling, right? And then we have another kind of creepy quote. Art is beautiful creation. Okay, you'll see these characters again. Oh. Okay, Royal Coyote. See, there he is. I see art everywhere. Now, you see how we built it? I think there's a picture here. So we use the simple objects, forms. They didn't even know that word form. They think everything is a shape. And they attached the forms. They learned about cylinders and torus. Boy, I didn't know that word either, forms. And they made their mask transparent, as you can see. And they were able to make their characters on the Opensim. Now, I worked with this kid a lot. He was 11 years old. He became a lead student because he was interested. And he used my avatar side by side to build his character. And that's one of the secrets when you're teaching on Second Life. You stand right next to them and they give you permission and you can show them how to do it. I want to tell you that the my Opensim site was sponsored by one of the people who gave a paper, and I'll tell you in a minute who that paper was yesterday. Some of the kids only came once, and this is an example. This kid, he called his character Scorpy. He was trapped and he wanted to unwrap, which is kind of cute poem. And he got caught in this dome they were playing with. Yeah, kids can be scary, wisdom seeker. Let's see, here's the creepy crow. He's waiting to create. He's hiding in a tree. They had to add that, of course. And then he screams, ka, 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 ka. And boy, he is kind of an ugly looking guy, isn't he? Okay, this is a simple one. It's the cutest little character. Art is creation of beauty and love, and is part of me. Art is an act of generosity. That rhymes, right? And her name is Mia. Arta is part of Mia. So they've been rhyming in a real simple way. They surprise me sometimes. Okay, now here is the Cyber Crow, and he says, art is amazing. See, they're playing with language again. I want to say that Sandrine Hahn, she's been typing here, right? She sponsors me on her website on the Opensim. She has done this for 4 years, and I'm so happy that she does that. And Sandrine, whenever you need help, please let us know. She teaches at the University of British Columbia. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have this site. 4 years she's been helping me. See, and I want to help her now. Okay, here's the eye guy. He drew a giant eyeball also and jumped on it. And he titled the entire group installation and play, I Am Everywhere. I don't know if you can see it, but he has eyeballs all over his body. They're also learning about the science of the desert because chameleons see in 2 different directions at one time. The word eye and eyeball, eye, are similar but different. Well, here's the installation they came up with. Now, those two advanced students helped me put this together. And You can see the little coyote in the middle. He's more three-dimensional. It depends on how you photograph it. Now the eye guy could show up better if he outlined it with magic marker, but it still looks pretty good, as you can see. And oh, we put up this desert landscape bottom, and I remember Sandrine says, well, that's too busy. And I said, well, the desert is, would you believe, full of all kinds of things. And our desert. Now, here's some of the things that we found. Ooh. As you can see, the students helped me build this dome. One of the boys saw it in the distance, and we made it transparent, and we made about 2,000 little eyeballs and changed them up there, and you can see they're floating around the entire installation. So we were doing this with two of the boys that are a little bit older. Look at that. And there's the eye guy. He's inside, and they were learning how to use the build tube. We couldn't do it with all the kids because it wasn't working for them. Now, this is what happens when it's surrounded. It's moving, it's spinning. We have a script in there that I put in, and boy, did they enjoy that. And now they understand about I am everywhere, because the eye guy's all over the place. Now, that's the best part. Here's some of the conclusions. Now, similar to art educator Hankeman, I found that, again, giving the students a model script full of definitions embedded in a play may promote child-oriented studies and stories in a multidisciplinary way. In this case, including desert ecology. Okay. And students twist the meanings. They lose their tail, and they get new ideas as they go along. Again, they were learning art is everywhere because it's spinning around them. Oh gosh. We are all transformed and caught in this meaning mesh. Be ready for new meanings and problems whenever you're in the schools or Boys and Girls Club. Learn with your participants. Be a team. Such mentoring heightens and refreshes our pedagogy. Second Life is changing to mesh, of course, and the students learn this for the very first time. Note the playful eye metaphor. Everywhere, around. This is my favorite quote coming art. Art is a game, and it takes over, and that's from the philosopher Hans Georg Gadamer in 1975. And the students say, "Ah, I told you so." Oh, thank you. I think I'm finished. Would you like to ask me some questions? it's simple, but yet it could be so complex that when you have to solve problems. Thank you, Sandrine. Thank you for your help so much. It was your work to help me. And thank you, Zinnia, too. We've been working together a lot also. Thank you. Thank you. I hope we can do more studies. I'm teaching for ASU Emeritus College now, and I'm going to be teaching, giving papers, workshops, and even a course. On Second Life. They're all going to be searching for treasures. Yeah. Thank you. When I was in Taiwan, I also gave a presentation on the medical implications of Second Life, and I spoke to 50 doctors there, and they were very impressed. Yeah. Especially Gentle Huron. She runs the prosthetic museum, you know, artificial legs and hips. I got one. Thank you all for coming. This was a simple presentation, but a lot of fun. Thank you for helping me too. Lear and Franz, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, iSky. I hope to see you later. Thank you, everybody. Oh, good. I want to see that veterinary medicine. Buffy, it's not easy learning Second Life. There's a certain learning curve. We all know. We all been through that. I always tell them it's not easy. Patience is a virtue. Thank you, Buffy, for all your help. Shiloh, thank you. Thank you, everyone. It works. I'm always dreading this. Thank you, Buff. Sometimes this is so difficult sometimes. I gave my national conference last week on Passable platform, and my presentation didn't work there. That's why I was so nervous. Thank you, everybody. Oh, yes, wisdom seeker. We have to remember to laugh, right? Right, Cynthia? Smile and laugh. If you need me to be part of any of your studies, let me know, and I'm more available now. Oh, thank you, everybody. Dex, thanks for coming. Good luck on your papers too, your presentations. Thank you, Buffy. Oh God. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Now I got to take this down.